We are looking at a really fractured ecosystem today.
Whoa. I mean, imagine scaling a training run across 50,000 unproven domestic chips just to build one massive AI brain. Beat! That scale is just wild.
Welcome to our deep dive. Today, we are unpacking the global AI control race.
There's just so much shifting right now.
Yeah, let me lay out the roadmap for you. We are exploring three distinct layers of this race. First, major U.S. software giants are pivoting hard. They are scrambling to build their own physical hardware. Second, we will examine the messy reality of software. We are looking at complex enterprise AI deployments. Third, we have a massive breakthrough from China. It proves total hardware independence is now possible.
It is a totally different landscape.
Exactly.
Yes, see.
And this matters directly to you. The people who control the physical chips dictate everything. They determine the capabilities of the AI tools you use.
Right, they control the cost and availability too.
So let us begin at the foundational hardware layer. Everyone relies heavily on NVIDIA right now.
Yeah, NVIDIA is definitely the undisputed king.
But the software giants are actually rebelling. They want to control their own economics. Anthropic is a perfect example of this shift. They are in active talks with Samsung right now.
Right, to manufacture their own custom AI chips.
Exactly. They officially want a diversified hardware stack. We do not know the exact workloads yet.
But Samsung is a highly logical manufacturing partner. They already build chips for NVIDIA, you know?
And they are linked to Google's custom chips, too. So
Yeah.
this makes total sense. Honestly, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Yeah, it happens to all of us.
So I can only imagine the headache of designing custom silicon.
Yeah.
It is just mind-blowing. But OpenAI just revealed a custom processor, too.
Right, they are calling it Jalapeño. They developed this new processor with Broadcom.
And Broadcom is huge in networking silicon.
Exactly. Jalapeño targets higher efficiency and performance per watt. It is essentially built as a custom inference processor.
Let's define that real quick for everyone. That is a chip built just for running AI models, not training them.
Yep, spot on. It just drastically lowers the cost of running models. Amazon and Google already offer custom TPUs in their clouds.
Right. It really reminds me of the restaurant business. It is like restaurants deciding they must farm their own ingredients. They just need to keep menu prices down.
That is a really great way to put it.
2-sec silence. But let me push back on this a bit. Doesn't building custom silicon risk locking these companies into obsolete architectures?
Well, it is a huge technical gamble for sure. The algorithms change so incredibly fast, but relying solely on NVIDIA is a much bigger threat. The efficiency gains usually outweigh the architectural risks.
So custom chips bring efficiency, but demand massive, risky upfront bets on architecture.
Exactly. It is a massive financial balancing act.
Let us pivot from theoretical hardware perfection now. We need to look at the software reality check. The reality of deploying these models is incredibly messy.
Oh, it is way harder than people admit.
Mark Zuckerberg actually told Meta staff this recently. He said AI agents are progressing much slower than expected. The payoff has not fully arrived yet.
And that is despite major layoffs and internal reassignments.
Yeah, the underlying models are smart, obviously, but the agents themselves still struggle in the real world. Microsoft is realizing they have to fix this manually.
Right, they just launched their new frontier company.
Exactly. They put $2.5 billion behind it. They have 6,000 experts just to help enterprises install AI properly. Which brings up a big question.
What is that?
Well, if these models are so intelligent, why does Microsoft need an army of 6,000 human experts just to install them in businesses?
Because enterprise data is a complete nightmare. You have decades of unstructured, heavily siloed proprietary data.
Right, like old HR files or locked PDFs.
Exactly. It is like stacking Lego blocks of data, but none of the pieces fit together. An AI model needs perfectly pristine data pipelines. Those 6,000 experts are basically highly paid data plumbers.
So raw intelligence is useless without deep integration into messy corporate data systems.
Exactly right. And we are seeing geopolitical moves here too. OpenAI just proposed a very wild financial arrangement.
Oh, the sovereign wealth fund thing.
Yeah, they want to give 5% of their equity to a U.S. sovereign wealth fund. It lets the public share the upside.
And obviously, it eases a lot of political pressure. It needs Congress approval, but it is a huge move.
Meanwhile, regular developers are getting incredible new tools. Claude Fable 5 came back yesterday morning. People are building insane things with it.
Claude Code also supports artifacts now, right?
Yes. Interactive pages you can just share via a private link. Google also shipped a new AI agent stack in VS Code.
That includes GenKit and then ADK 2.0, right?
Yep. Plus, GitHub Copilot CLI now has an auto mode. It just routes your tasks to the best real-time model.
And Meta released that limited app called Pocket. You just use a prompt to generate playable minigames.
The consumer wins are just stacking up so fast.
Yeah.
Across the brand.
So connecting OpenAI's political moves to the global stage, we are seeing a massive shift in AI control. China just hit a truly massive breakthrough.
Yeah, this is a huge turning point.
Meituan, the Chinese food delivery giant, released LongCat-2.0. It is a new open-source coding model, and it is ranking in the top 3 globally by call volume.
It is available right on their site and OpenRouter.
The specs on this thing are pretty wild. It is a 1.6 trillion parameter MoE model. Let's clarify that term quickly. MoE just means a model that only uses parts of its brain for each task.
Right. It is highly efficient. It has 33 billion to 56 billion active parameters, and it boasts a massive 1 million token context window.
Which is the amount of text an AI can remember in one single conversation.
Exactly, but the crazy part is how they built it.
Right. It was trained entirely from scratch on domestic chips. They used a cluster of 50,000 Chinese chips.
And they use a domestic alternative to NVIDIA's NCCL software. That software is critical to actually stabilize the training run.
We should frame the context here purely on the facts. In 2022, Washington implemented export controls on advanced semiconductors. Since then, Chinese tech giants have actively sought self-reliance.
DeepSeek and Alibaba used domestic chips for inference earlier. But Meituan just proved domestic superpods can handle pre-training.
And pre-training is the incredibly demanding phase, right?
Yes, it requires perfectly synchronized data across tens of thousands of chips. It is incredibly difficult to stabilize.
So, looking at this timeline, does this mean the 2022 U.S. export controls essentially forced China to accelerate the maturity of their own hardware ecosystem?
Structurally speaking, yes. The constraints cut off external supply chains. So funding and developing domestic innovation became an absolute necessity for survival.
So the restrictions essentially acted as a catalyst for their own domestic compute evolution.
Precisely. They had no choice but to build it themselves.
2-sec silence. It is time to step back and look at the big idea here. We are witnessing a great decoupling at literally every level.
We really are. The software companies are decoupling from NVIDIA right now. You see it with Jalapeño and Anthropic working with Samsung.
And entire nations are decoupling from foreign hardware supply chains. LongCat 2.0 proves that complete hardware independence is totally possible.
Everyone is racing to secure their own physical foundations.
Which leaves you with a really provocative thought to mull over. If every major tech giant builds custom chips, and every global superpower builds totally divergent local hardware, will the global internet fragment into completely separate, incompatible AI ecosystems?
It is a very real possibility now.
It changes how we think about the future of tech. Thank you for diving deep with us today. Keep questioning the systems you use every day.
Stay curious, everyone. We will see you next time. Out Chiro Music.